From the dawn of civilization, the cradle of humanity has given rise to legends and histories that echo through time. Among these stories stands the tale of Babylon, a city whose very name conjures images of towering ziggurats, hanging gardens, and a civilization that shaped the ancient world. But to truly understand the origins of Babylon, we must journey even further back, delving into the stories of Kush and Nimrod, figures whose legacies are woven into the rich tapestry of African and global heritage. The ancient texts, passed down through generations, speak of Kush as a progenitor, a mighty descendant of Noah and the father of Nimrod. Kush, often associated with the land south of Egypt, what many today recognize as Nubia or Ethiopia, signifies a lineage of strength, wisdom, and innovation. In these traditions, Kush is not just a geographical reference, but a symbol of a people whose skin was kissed by the sun, whose cultures flourished along the life-giving rivers of Africa. From Kush came Nimrod, a name that resonates through the annals of history as a mighty hunter before the Lord, a builder of cities, and a leader of men. Nimrod's reputation as a king and city builder is immortalized in the ancient scriptures and oral histories. He is credited with founding some of the earliest and most influential cities in Mesopotamia, among them the legendary city of Babylon. To appreciate the significance of Babylon's founders, one must explore the broader context of early civilizations, the movement of peoples, the mingling of cultures, and the exchange of knowledge across the ancient world defy the boundaries we impose today. The lands of the Nile and the Euphrates were not isolated. They were connected by trade, migration, and the flow of ideas. In these fertile regions, people of African descent played pivotal roles as creators, rulers, and innovators. Let us return to Kush, the patriarch whose descendants would leave an indelible mark on history. The name Kush appears in ancient records as a land of dark-skinned peoples admired for their strength and beauty. Egyptian, Greek, and Hebrew sources alike refer to Kush as a region of great wealth and influence, a place where gold gleamed and wisdom flourished. The Kushites, as they were called, were renowned for their prowess in war and diplomacy, their artistic achievements, and their deep spiritual traditions. In the lineage of Kush stands Nimrod, often depicted as a giant among men. Nimrod's story bridges the worlds of myth and history, blending the exploits of a mighty hunter with the accomplishments of a shrewd ruler. He is said to have established his kingdom in the land of Shinar, ancient Sumer, where he founded cities such as Erech, Akkad, and most famously, Babylon. Babylon itself would become a city of unparalleled grandeur. Its walls soared high above the plains, enclosing temples, palaces, and bustling markets. The city's most iconic structure, the ziggurat known as the Tower of Babel, symbolized humanity's quest for knowledge and unity. The Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, testified to the city's sophistication and the ingenuity of its people. But behind the stones and monuments, it is the human story that endures, the legacy of Kush and Nimrod, and the people they led. The narrative of Babylon's founding speaks not only to the achievements of individuals, but to the enduring influence of African ancestors on the course of civilization. The presence of Kush and Nimrod in the genealogies of the ancient world is a reminder that the roots of greatness are deep and diverse. As we examine the archaeological and historical records, we find evidence of cultural exchange between Africa and Mesopotamia. Artifacts, linguistic similarities, and ancient texts point to a world where borders were porous and identities were fluid. The black pharaohs of Kush, the traders who journeyed along the Nile and into the heart of the Fertile Crescent, the artisans and scribes who recorded their deeds, all contributed to the flowering of civilization. Within the city of Babylon, the legacy of its founders lived on. The Babylonians were renowned for their advances in mathematics, astronomy, law, and literature. The Code of Hammurabi, one of the earliest known legal codes, was carved into stone for all to see, establishing principles of justice that would influence societies for millennia. The priests of Babylon observed the stars, charted the movements of planets, and laid the foundations for modern science. Yet, the story of Babylon is also a story of diversity, a meeting place of peoples from across the ancient world. Merchants from Africa, Arabia, and beyond converged in its markets, bringing goods, stories, and traditions. The city's art and architecture reflect this cosmopolitan spirit, blending styles and motifs from many lands. The memory of Kush and Nimrod, as powerful Black ancestors, is not merely a matter of genealogy. It is a testament to the interconnectedness of human history. Their stories invite us to reconsider the narratives we have inherited, to recognize the contributions of African peoples to the foundations of civilization, and to celebrate the richness of our shared heritage. As the centuries passed, Babylon would rise and fall, its glory preserved in ruins and legends. Empires came and went, but the city's influence endured. In the imagination of later generations, Babylon became a symbol, a place of wonder, ambition, and aspiration. Its name entered the language as a metaphor for greatness and sometimes for hubris. But at its heart, the story of Babylon is a human story. It is the story of Kush, whose descendants spread across continents, carrying with them the seeds of culture and wisdom. It is the story of Nimrod, whose vision and leadership gave rise to cities that changed the world. It is the story of a civilization that drew strength from diversity, innovation, and the enduring spirit of its people. In understanding the origins of Babylon, we gain more than historical knowledge. We gain a deeper appreciation for the ways in which the past shapes the present. We are reminded that the achievements of one people are never isolated. They are part of a larger mosaic, a tapestry woven from countless threads. The story of Kush and Nimrod challenges us to look beyond the boundaries of race, geography, and time. It calls us to celebrate the contributions of Black ancestors to the story of humanity, to honor the legacy of those who built, dreamed, and achieved on the banks of the Nile and the Euphrates. As we reflect on this legacy, let us remember that the greatness of Babylon and of all civilizations rests not only in its monuments and achievements, but in the people who dared to imagine, to create, and to endure. The story of Kush and Nimrod is not just a story of ancient times. It is a story for all people, a reminder of the power of heritage, the richness of diversity, and the enduring potential of the human spirit. Let us continue to explore, to learn, and to honor the stories of our ancestors, Black, African, and beyond, whose dreams built the foundations of our world. For in their stories, we find not only the origins of Babylon, but the origins of ourselves. As the sun rises over the ruins of ancient Babylon, casting long shadows across the sands, we are reminded of the greatness that once stood there. The stones may crumble, and the gardens may wither, but the legacy of Kush and Nimrod endures, carried forward in the memories, the stories, and the achievements of their descendants. So as we look to the future, let us draw inspiration from the past. Let us honor the powerful Black ancestors who shaped the course of history, whose vision and strength built cities, cultures, and civilizations. Let us remember that we too are builders of the future, heirs to a legacy of greatness that knows no bounds. In the story of Babylon, built by Kush and Nimrod, we see the truth that greatness is born not of stone and mortar alone, but of the courage, wisdom, and unity of people. And it is in this truth that we find our own place in the unending story of humanity.